On everybody, BobbyFi, Eric Sheets Haber.
Back.
We're going to be talking through the first golf of the year, which I'm very excited about because
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the last 5 minutes of these games these last few days have been pretty rough. I was in first place in the slam for 100K.
Are you serious?
Yeah, for
Oh my God.
basically the entire night. The problem was I had 6 players from the Minnesota. I had all the right players, but all the 6 players from the Minnesota and Milwaukee game, and I got literally only one of them to play in the entire fourth quarter.
Oh no.
I still lost by 6.5 points.
What place did you come in?
Like 7th or 10th. I don't know what it
Oh,
was.
brutal.
So it was kind of rough. That was 100K that hurt. It didn't hurt nearly as bad as Sunday. I don't know if you were around for that one. The Wildcat, where
No.
literally we only had defenses left, except for I also had Keenan Allen, and I was going into the fourth quarter of that game. Actually, going into the game, I was in third place, and then I was in second place in the fourth quarter of the whole game. Keenan Allen had 6 targets in the fourth quarter, had 0 catches, 1
Oh my
touchdown called
God.
back, and on top of it, I still would have finished second for 100K, but the 3 sacks, there was 3 sacks on Herbert by the other defense. I had the Chargers defense and a pick all in the last 6 minutes. So that
Oh my
was
God. So
that
what
was
did
really
you
bad.
come in?
7th.
Oh no.
And it literally looked like there was no way to finish.
Oh no.
There was nobody else in the top 100 with anybody left.
But,
And,
I mean, at least you're seeing it somehow. You know what I mean? At least you're competitive there.
I'm just anti-sheeting. I need to start closing. So maybe golf is the time to close, and maybe I don't need to watch every second of it, because I'll tell you what, man. You know me. It's been a little while since a big win.
Yeah.
It starts to get at you, and you really want to close
absolutely.
when you're there. You know, you need to do
So
it.
what we're gonna do is we'll blast through this because the golf doesn't take too long, and then maybe in a half an hour we'll do the NFL because I'm out. I'm doing that backgammon thing this weekend.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm out for football. So at least for content, and we'll go over it. I want to talk about your Rams. I want to talk about a couple of stuff. So yeah, let's get through the golf.
Absolutely.
Are you going to share your screen?
I'll share my screen. I'm going to try and let's see if I can do this so I can see my exposures as of right now, and then we're going to do this. Yes. Okay. Cool. So I guess we start off sheets with tiers, and since we only have 2 players in the 10K tier, I guess we can sort of talk about the 9K and up range. What are you finding, or are you just committed to Henley and Griffin? Where do you stand with this?
First of all, let's talk about this. So it's the beginning of the tour, I guess, for the year, and so there's a couple of things to keep in mind. There are some people that have been playing, and some people that have not been playing, and I guess it depends on where you come in on this. Like, would you prefer the guys that are fresh, or would you prefer the guys that have been playing? You know what I mean? Fresh versus rusty is an interesting concept. That's one thing, and then also this being the first tournament of the year, I want to go through and think of like which guys are really, even of all the rest of the guys, like who's really going to be revved up for this thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Also, it's a very, very short golf course, so you're not gonna play big bombers or anything like that. And there's also going to be a lot of variance in that because most people are going to get it on the green, so it's going to become a putting contest. So I guess that's kind of with background. So what we're going to do.
We do have some weather that I am not yet currently planning to implement. It does seem like a little bit of, I don't know why it always works out this way, but it does seem like it's a little bit of an advantage for an afternoon day 1 and mornings day 2.
Okay.
But I'm not letting it affect me that much this tournament.
Not in Classic, I don't think.
I don't think in Classic, but the one thing but it's a good question that you ask, and like my attitude, right or wrong, and it gets me in trouble a lot of nights. It's why I have a high variance, but it also helps me win things. Is one of the things I like to do with any sport that I pay attention to, which golf is now massively included, and I have millions of cousins who I talk about this stuff all the time. I listen to every podcast. I want to bet on guys who either I think are bouncing back or going forward to start the year. I want to always err on the, okay, this guy's on the come up. I want to try and attack that, meaning more to me than recent form, because I imagine, we'll get into some names, but we've got guys who literally would have been the most expensive player in the golf tournament last year who are like 7K this year. So it's just kind of interesting to think about. And I would rather side with betting on that and some of these up and coming studs. I also think this is a great slate. Like, I don't think you need to force it, but I don't think you need to use your whole salary cap either, by the way.
Interesting.
I just don't see. I just think that the level of golf everywhere is very similar, at or near the top to the guys that are in the 7K range, 8K range that you can find. That's my take.
So last we left the PGA Tour, people were jamming Ben Griffin in every lineup. That's the last I remember. The PGA before we went into deep into the playoffs and stuff like that. But so Ben Griffin was kind of like the up and coming stud du jour. When things kind of went shut down for a while. And look, even though guys haven't been playing competitively, I'm sure people have been working on their game. I'm sure people have been playing or whatever it is. So for me, I do like both of those guys over 10K, like Henley and Griffin. I do like both of them. Henley just is such a, it's such a perfect course fit. You know what I mean? And these are the types of tournaments that he needs to win, if he's going to win. You know what I mean? So you talk about motivation, you talk about all that stuff. Who's getting wound up for a tournament like this? I think Henley is, So I have no problem with him. I certainly like Griffin to extend his whatever. So another guy, we're talking about 9K and up. So these guys, I'm going to put all these guys together. Hideki, McIntyre, and even JJ Spawn, and I'll even say Keegan Bradley. Okay, what all these guys have in common is you're going to have to convince me that they've been really looking forward to this freaking tournament. You know what I mean? Like these guys, and you even including Spawn in this list, they got bigger fish to fry. You know what I mean? These guys want to win majors. These guys want to become like superstars. These guys want to. I mean, and Hideki wants to win his 100th major or whatever it is. So I'm not, and Bradley's got other things in his mind or whatever it is. And even Morikawa, these are big names, but are these the guys that are going to have their shit revved up for this tournament? And my inclination is no. So I would, of all these dudes above 9K, I would go to Siwoo Kim. He's the one guy of all those guys that does not. I mean, I just figure that he'd be a guy just keeps wanting to win and keeps trying to play hard and keeps trying to improve. So if I had to pick one from those 9Ks, it would probably be Siwoo Kim. And he's also, listen, this is not anything earth-shattering. I see his ownership between 17 to 20%. You know what I mean? So people are going to play him. But that would be, I guess, maybe it's a little too narrative-based and a little bit too vibesy. But that's the way I'm looking at those guys.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I hear the bigger fish to fry. I also think coming out that it's going to matter for some guys who struggled at the end of last year. I like Henley. I mean, I like a lot of these guys. I'm double digits on most of them, to be honest with you. But I like Henley. I like Hideki. I do think that him bouncing back, and I could see him playing well here. And then my favorite is, as you mentioned, JJ Spawn. A little bit earlier, you mentioned him. I think he's the guy. I've got some one and done stuff that I'm playing this season on Splash Sports cheat sheets. If you, I know you like to get into some of this stuff, but it's kind of fun.
I'm doing all. We could do a separate video. I'm playing 15 of those Rick run.
Let's go. Yeah. So
I have a whole spreadsheet. I'll post it in the Discord.
Yeah, and JJ Spawn is my guy that I have the most of this week. So those are my favorites, but I'm not going to argue with anybody here at the top. They're all, I think, reasonable. And just in terms of it does feel, I hear what you're saying about Morikawa. I think that's sort of the common consensus. It's just funny we can get Morikawa cheaper where he's the best golfer and he's going to be 1/3 the ownership of Henley. Maybe that's not exactly right. So I'll probably be closer to even on those guys ownership wise than I will just going on Henley. And it's really just because Henley's projected to be 40% owned. But I do like Henley slightly better than Griffin, although I wouldn't be surprised if Ben Griffin has just another monster year.
Yeah, and again, this is not going to get me canceled or anything like that. It's not. I'm going to say it's racist, but if you want to tell me that Robert McIntyre, after all the stuff that he did last year with the Ryder Cup and all the stuff that he won, he's going to fly over from 2-degree weather in freaking Ireland into 1,000-degree weather in Hawaii to get all revved up for this tournament, I don't believe it. So I don't want to play him.
Fair enough. All right, moving down to the 8K range, which is a range that, like, I think the reason I'm so high on so many of the guys near the top is just that I don't have as much in the 8K range. I'll start this one off real quick. The one I really like is, and he started last year well. I'm not sure if he won this tournament, but he definitely was near the top. I really like Chris Kirk. This is the kind of course, like, hit it short and straight, and I think that he makes enough sense for that. I think the ownership will all go to Corey Connors. I'm going to be just below the field on that, but that's still a pretty significant amount of ownership. And then I'm getting to Aaron Rai, Adam Scott, and Rico Hoey. Those are my 5 most owned, and those are all double digits. Hoey, Connors, and Kirk being my highest 3.
Yeah, I'm sort of I'm with you on most of these guys. So my top guy in the 8K range is Aaron Rai, and I think you could fund small villages on the amount of money I've lost on Aaron Rai in the last.
I feel like you won money too that you forgot about.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I always say that, and then like I said, except for the 100,000.
Yeah, except for the 100,000, except for the showdown win for 100K.
That was like my Aaron Nola thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I can never win with Aaron Nola, and then I'm literally looking at the screenshot on our homepage, and it's where I have an Aaron Nola lineup for 100,000. But Aaron Rai, I have him projected very, very well. He's going to be very popular, but he makes a lot of lineups work, and I do like that. Corey Connors, he's another guy that, like, whenever he's like, look, a nice price, not the toughest field in the world. Then he comes in at like freaking 24% ownership. You know what I mean? And then like he's +1. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. Both these guys annoy me a little bit, but I do have Aaron Rai as my top one. Mm-hmm. And then the next guy that you mentioned, actually, the next guy I have is another guy you mentioned, Rico Hoey, at 8,100. So those are my top ones. I'll scroll down a little bit. The next one I have at 8K, I mean, fits the short course model pretty well, and that would be Brian Harmon at 8K flat. So I like him. So if I had to like put these guys, Ryan Connors would be chalk, who's going to annoy me, but I'll probably have to play them both. Hoey, you mentioned, and then the Harmon.
Yeah, I think, and Harmon, I have 10% exactly. So I'm good with all that. I really think this tournament is going to be, or the DFS side of it is going to be one with some of these funky plays. And
okay, what's his name? Where's we need Kenny.
I know, but I've got some for this one too. This is we get to some familiar ones coming up, and then some you've definitely never heard of before.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But the 7,500 to 7,900, I'll keep this one pretty short. Mac Meisner, Daniel Berger, and McCarthy, I have like 11% of each. Other than that, in this range, I have 15% of McCarthy and Echeverria, and then I've got 10% of John Kiefer, and that is one that I was turned on to by Rick and some other people, and another one of 10% of the Jake Knapp. I actually think I might want to go a little higher on Jake Knapp. I kind of want to bet on him this year. Rough year last year for some of his personal stuff, but anyway, those are the main ones for me in this range.
Tough course for Knapp. I shouldn't say tough course. It's not like it's.
It doesn't suit him exactly.
Exactly. Because it's not like it's going to punish bombers. It's just not going to reward them as much. That's all. So you did mention like a lot of guys, but I was like, it's so funny that my top guy, as you start streaming through all these guys, I'm like, oh, don't mention, because I wanted something to participate in, like once you were done with this, and you didn't actually mention the guy I have rated the highest. So I don't know who this guy is, but I have a feeling whenever I don't know who a guy is and he's my top rated guy, and I see him like 10% owned or less, it's going to let me to believe he's going to be 20. But the guy I have is Christopher Rayton. So he's my top guy at he's 7,600. No idea who he is, but he's modeling very, very well for me. So it's going to be one of those dudes. I'm telling you that's going to be like whenever this is the way I've in my experience with my projections or whatever.
Yeah,
he'll end up being like 22% in the signature hole or something like that. You know.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I don't know about that high, but yeah, I hear you. Like,
so that's my top guy, and then other guys you mentioned, yeah, Meisner is in there, McCarthy's in there, McCarty also. You talk about Matthew McCarty as well. So McCarthy and McCarty. And then one guy you didn't mention that's in there is the Taylor Pendrith. So, most of the guys you mentioned, but I would definitely include the Rayton in my portfolio.
Yeah, and I'm making a little note of that as well. I've heard that name a number of times.
I know you're like, damn it, now I got to get 5% of him. Like,
no. But I was actually
I like that. Whenever I come up with a guy that you didn't have, I'm like, now I got to get freaking 5%.
Well, it's also it's also when it coincides with you and some other people who did some golf stuff that I.
What about your cousins with the golf?
What do you mean, this week or in general?
Yeah, don't they have like the sneak golfers or who they?
They're more like in general. Like, I don't think they know a lot of the.
Oh, okay.
The no names. They just know like the young guys who like are on YouTube who can hit it far, and then they know all the historical stuff about every course and who's won and that kind of stuff. So it's a very strange mix.
Like you mentioned, one of the guys who's basically won like everything on the lower tour. The Kiefer, is that his name? Kiefer. He was like the rookie of the year last year or something like that.
On Corn Ferry, yeah.
So
he's one of my guys for sure.
I mean, he's been waiting to. I mean, he's fired up. You know what I mean? So
yep, for sure. All right, 7K to 7,500. I only have like 2 players in double digits in this whole range. Actually 3. Tom Kim, I have 10% of down at the bottom at 7K flat, and I don't think anyone is playing Tom Kim, which. I just want to bet on the future and the talent level, and maybe in the offseason that, you know what I mean, he's found himself a little bit. Another one that I'm not getting 10% of, but I'd like to force in a little more than I'm getting. I'm interested in Tony Finau a little bit and see what he does just bouncing back after a rough year. So that's another one that I'm sort of trying to talk myself into what I want to do there. But the one I have the most of is Sam Stevens, followed by Vince Whaley, and Ryan Gerard. I think I'll end up with more Gerard than the other ones, but that's pretty much my main stuff. I've got a bunch of sprinklings of everybody else, but those are my main ones.
All right, so I got one for you, and I'll get to him in a second. But as far as projections go, I think 2 of the guys you mentioned, the top 2 guys, I averaged Michael Kim actually, and Ryan Gerard. You mentioned Ryan Gerard and Michael Kim. I didn't get as much as of Tom Kim, but. Here's a thing that I talk about a lot with projection models in all sports. It happens in baseball more than most, but I think it happens in golf too. So, like what happens in baseball is that they project stuff based on like a whole range of outcomes in the past like 18 months or something like that. And so what they do is they really I won't say underweight, but they don't really overweight how someone is behaving now. They really just smooth it out over like 18 months. And what happens sometimes in say baseball is there's somebody that like was injured or something and like maybe like a year ago, and those numbers are factoring into their projections now, or there's like a structural change in the way somebody's pitching, which has not been factored in to like the projections and stuff. So the guy I want to mention, and this is a guy, he was hurt like pretty much all year, until he finally got his act together a little bit at the end, was Sahith Theegala.
How did I miss that? Go ahead.
Yeah, so he's like dirt cheap. And listen, if he's 7,100 given his form most of last year, I think he should be 7,100, honestly. But he was hurt, and if he got his act together and he's healthy, then 7,100 is kind of a joke, So It depends on, it depends on how he's coming back. But you talk about guys that could benefit from off time or whatever it is. I mean, he plays a good game. He plays a good analytics game. He plays a good DFS game. And I like him a lot, actually. And there's no way he's going to be projected well because of all the things that I said. Yeah. I mean, he's a really crappy year for reasons that, you could chalk up to injuries. So, I definitely like him.
Yeah, I like that Theegala call, and I just totally forgot to mention it. That was my bad. That was one of my. He and Tom Kim are guys who like literally could have been this price to start. Could have been 10-1 to start this tournament last year, and it wouldn't have surprised anybody.
Yep.
All right. Why don't you go first on the under 7Ks? Because I've got, as usual, especially in these types of tournaments, I've got a slew of guys.
I got just two, actually. Actually, three. Okay, so it's kind of like contractually obligated. I have to use Doug Gim as one of the guys. So Doug Gim under 7K, I have him as always reasonable. And the two guys I have that are projected the best, one is Max McGreevy at 6,900, and the other guy is Takumi Kanaya.
Kanaya, he's one of my guys. Okay.
So those are my three dudes.
Yeah. Takumi Kanaya is literally one of my favorite plays on this slate. I love this guy. I always play him, and I will continue to this time. So that's maybe my favorite one. Well, there's one that you're gonna like. I like the McGreevy. I like Doug Gim. I've got them both around 10%. I don't like how much Patrick Rogers I'm getting. I never know what to do with him. He always seems to project better than he actually is, but it is what it is. I've got 9% of him. Let's see. Adam Svensson, I've got a little bit. Kita Nakajima, that's one that I've got, again, 5%. It's nothing crazy, but I'm going to sprinkle around with some of these guys. The Kanaya, I've got 15% of. I might even be a little bit higher by the time it's done. And then we've got the General, who has won this tournament, I believe, before.
And I think he won something last year too.
He won something else last year out of nowhere. Why can't we play 7-8% of the General at like no ownership?
No reason.
Interesting. And then
let's wait. For those here for the first time, the General is Patton Kizzire.
It is in fact Patton Kizzire.
Yeah, you didn't put it up on the board, so I mean, people that have been with us know who it is. But
yeah,
but Patton Kizzire is the General for future reference.
Yeah, and then okay, so then we've got Kazuki Higa, who has been playing and absolutely tearing up the Asian tour. He's 6,200. I don't think people are onto this. Another one that Rick turned me on to. I am doing everything in my power to try to get Higa into 10% of my lineups. SaberSim does not want to let me, but I am going to keep trying because I do believe in this guy. And yeah, that's sort of my outline of my main guys. But I like splashing around in that 6K range and trying to find the outlier in these things, especially when I don't think it's obviously not the toughest field in the world.
Vijay Singh is in this tournament for some reason.
Watch him like win the tournament or something at no ownership.
He just wants the free trip to Hawaii.
It'll be Vijay Singh and Webb Simpson, and then we all just look like idiots.
And the Webb Simpson is like 30 years younger than Vijay Singh.
No, I know. Well, Webb Simpson, he just feels older than he is. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, Cheats. Let's play the game. We're gonna go through it. For those of you not familiar, we're gonna pick a winner. We're gonna pick somebody in the each tier to top 5, top 10, top 20, and under 7K to make the cut, and under 7K. I'm sorry, over 9K to miss the cut. So that's sort of the game here. So, Cheats, we'll start it off with you. Who is winning the tournament?
Now, I always wonder whether I'm supposed to do this like to be contrarian, or I'm supposed to just answer the question. So I'm going to kind of do a mix. So I'm going to pick the guy that's not the favorite to win the tournament. So I'm going to say Siwoo Kim is going to win the tournament.
Okay, so we've got Siwoo. Okay. I am going to say JJ Spawn.
Like it.
All right. And under 10K to top 5.
Under 10K, aside from the ones we mentioned.
Yeah.
To top 5. Okay. I'll have to dip a little bit. So I will say, boy, top 5 is rough. But okay, I'll take a shot. I'll go with Aaron Rye, top 5.
All right, I am going to go. I like that. I'm going to go Hideki.
Okay, I like that too.
And then we have under 9K to top 10.
Under 9K to top 10. Okay, I'll just because I think he's going to top 10, even though he's not going to win. I think Corey Connors.
I had a feeling we were going to go there.
Yeah.
And I am going to say Chris Kirk.
I like it.
So That's where I'm at. All right, under 8K to top 20.
I am going to go with Michael Kim.
Michael Kim. Okay. M. Kim. Make sure I get the right Kim in there.
Yeah.
Under so I've got boy, Echeverria is going to be pretty popular, and I know that's not what the game is, so I should sort of just go with it. But I kind of got stuck. I kind of stuck myself on this one because I'm not as big in that range. Maybe I just go down in the 7Ks. All right, I am going to say Ryan Gerard.
I like that. And I'm going to add, by the way, I'm going to add a couple of things to our breakdowns here. I'm going to add also like 2 bets I want to make, just if they stand out. Yeah. And maybe I'll throw in my one and done thing, seeing as you mentioned yours. But okay, so now under 7K to make the cut.
Under 7K to make the cut. I mean, I've got my obvious guy, but I'll let you have him if you want him. I'm going to say my 6,200. No, you know what? I've got 3 guys. So look, I'm going to say the 3 guys, but the one I'm going to go with here because it's just for fun is Higa. Higa, Kanaya, and what's his name, and the Patton Kazire, the general, will be my. I know I shouldn't name 3, but I wanted to give 3 away because they're all going to be pretty double digits in my life.
And I will take, since you left them for me, the Takumi Kanaya.
Even though I stole it and left it for you.
Yeah.
All right, over 9K. Who is missing the cut?
Well, I mean, obviously, after he has a bad round in round 1, we're going to go with Hideki to miss the cut.
And it might just be a flat out withdrawal if it was
right. Exactly.
I think that's a logical answer for sure. Even though I don't mind this guy for DFS this week, I kind of am a little bit intrigued by he always makes it, but I'm sort of stuck between Keegan Bradley and Nick Taylor. I'll go Keegan Bradley. All right. So that's there you have it. Then I'm going to bump up my ownership to these guys.
This is what I want to do. Okay, just only have 5 minutes. Maybe I'll do it next week. I'll do a little one and done stuff. I won't. Well, here's one thing I want to show you guys. Let me share my screen for a minute.
Yeah, you got it.
So if you're going to play one and done, like at least, so I'll put this in the Discord one of these days. So this is a spreadsheet of all the events, and I coded them based on the segments in the Rick Run Good contest. Like the first 8 are the first group, then you get paid, and then after the next group, the next group, the next group. The key is that some of them have bigger purses than the others, and they also some have different amounts of golfers. So this column over here, this purse per golfers ranking, is like really important. Like you want to play your best golfers in the tournaments where you have the highest purse per golfer rating. You know what I mean? So those tournaments that are like 20 million, there's only 72 golfers in them. That's where you want to save your Schefflers and your top guys for. The other bit of advice that I'll give you, if you guys are going to play one and done, just 2 things. Number 1 is there's literally no need to be stupid. Okay, you should always play some top 40 guys. I mean, there's 30 guys to choose from, right? 30 picks. There's no need to pick a top 100 rated guy. Okay, it's just not the way this works. You know, you could get to top 40 or 50 guys like all the time. The other thing I would encourage you to do is not to give up. Okay. It's a long week. It's a long year, and you're tempted to get distracted and miss picks or something like that. Mm-hmm. You're never out of it, okay? Yeah. Because like all you need is a win somewhere, you know, and you might end up catching lightning in a bottle. So don't ever. It's not like Survivor. It's not like Spanish. Not like anything. Like you could just feel like you're dead, but then you're just not. Okay, right. So it's a long. So it's kind of a weird contest like that. But I would definitely, as you got down to the end of these segments. You know, if you're down to like week 9 or something, you should realize that there's payment to be made after week 9. So maybe you grab somebody good, you know what I mean, for that thing, depending on where your rest of your stuff is. And then the other bit of advice we'll get to is I would not play these live guys just because they're going to be uber jammed and popular. Like
that's what always happens. Yeah.
You know? You could play a live guy, but like, you know, Bryson and all these the top live guys are going to be like 1,000,000%. Yeah. So so what you want to do for like this particular tournament, since this is kind of like one of the worst ones, so it's like 75,000 per golfer. You don't want to take one of your real top guys, but then again, it's not one of the worst, so you don't want to take your worst guys. When I say worst, I mean like maybe like your 30th or 21st rated golfer on your list. However you make your list, it's not so difficult. Make a list of your top 25 guys. So this week, I mean, whatever you think is like your 22nd, 23rd top guy, that's who you would use. And listen, obviously they have to rate pretty well in this tournament. And the one I actually have the most of, I have two guys. I like Aaron Rye actually, and the other one is actually Harry Hall. So those
He's one of mine as well.
Yeah. So those are the two guys that I have going in the one and done. Now the two bets I want to make, I don't know what the odds are, but I don't care. They're both going to be $1 billion to 1. One we talked about in this stream. I am going to bet Sahith to win. He's got to be $1 billion to 1.
Yeah.
And the other one I just kind of came up with as we were scrolling through like who to make the cut. I'll tell you a guy who's like he's got to be like get 100 to 1 because of his price, but I know he can win this, and that's going to be Cameron Davis. Like he's like 6,300. I'm not even betting him to make the cut, but he gets his shit going. You know what I mean? Like I'm down with that. So I'm going to be betting both those guys. I'm going to be betting Sahith to win and donating, and then I'll donate on Cam Davis to win also. So we'll make that a part of our routine. You know,
okay.
We'll come up with bets and we'll do a one and done thing also.
Sounds good. Should be a fun week. We'll be back with some football shortly. Good luck, guys.